I just wanted to say.
You're listening to
your fan favorite section on Break Time on West Side. The 10th of January, 2020, and we are still handling some shit from 2019. But anyways, who the fuck are we? This is Break Time on West Side, your number one break time podcast, coming to you from Nairobi, Kenya. The man on the mic is Sir Denver B. This is the fan favorite section. And I am still handling some shit from 2019. Now, I was supposed to talk about some side chick issue, but I kind of had to handle some business last week, which is where you found a baby daddy topic. But now that that's been handled, it's about time I move on to something that pretty much kind of interested me. Before we get to that though, I have a complaint that we should probably handle in 2020. Ladies, it's perfectly okay for you to actually make the first move. And by first move, I don't just mean being the one to approach the guy and hit on them. I mean, it's okay for you to actually be intentional and show them that you want to smash. Because unlike our parents' days, or at least my parents' days, where people could go and be like, hey, you look pretty, thank you. Would you want to be my girlfriend? Yes. Why the hell not? Or no, I'm not interested. Or I have a boyfriend. Then you pretty much move the fuck on. Where people were kind of straightforward with each other back in the day. But nowadays, everyone's all about, oh, they have to see it, or they have to notice it. Everyone's all about body language, yet no one ever really takes time to study that shit. So I'd say if you're a lady and you're still expecting guys to make the move and, try and place their hand someplace or try and kiss you or try and do all sorts of shit, you need help, because not all these niggas are as confident, but they still want to hit. And you probably also want to hit. You're probably horny, he's probably horny, but the reason you're not gonna hit is because this guy just clearly did not know how to initiate the whole process. Because let's be honest, a lot of us do not want to screw up, and because we don't want to screw up, we'll always second guess ourselves. It's just a few of us that'll pretty much know what to do. The others will pretty much be taking a shot in the dark, and for the most part, if you do not know how to get your shit down, I'm sorry to you as a guy, because for men, we really, really need help on that shit. And because of that, y'all might end up not getting smashed. That being said though, initiating anything does not mean that you're desperate. It does not mean that you are a slut. It does not make you a hoe. I am saying this because some of y'all always have this thing of, no, I can't initiate stuff first. That's the guy's point. Oh, I look like I'm cheap. Oh, I look like I want it too damn much. What the fuck is wrong with wanting it too damn much, by the way? I believe that as human beings, all of us, at least the largest majority of us, at least one point in our lives, we shall be horny. So what's wrong with showing that you're horny? Especially if you're in a position to get some. If you are horny and you want to get some shit down, go and make a move, regardless of what gender you are, whether you're male, whether you're female. The worst that can happen is that they'll turn you away. Actually, I'm messing. If you're a guy, the worst that can happen is that they'll sue you for sexual harassment. And yeah, that just made trying to get into bed with a woman a lot harder. But anyways, risks are there to be taken. I'm not saying that you take all of them, but well, y'all just try and do you, and there's a good chance that she won't sue you for sexual harassment, at least if you're not pestering her too damn much. That is my TED Talk for today. Y'all should just go and make a move on each other. Regardless of what gender you are, just go try your luck. There's a good chance that they might be interested in you if you've been reading the signs right. If you haven't been reading signs, please go and start reading signs again. It'll help quite a bit. Anyways, moving it on though, we need to move to the meat of this burger. We need to move on to the bread of the breakfast table. For those of us that still do bread, personally, I hate that shit. I'd rather go for solid food. Not too long ago, towards the end of last year, 2019, for those of y'all that don't know what last year was, we were kind of greeted with a bit of gossip on the Kenyan social media scene for a bit, because a popular gossip YouTuber called Edgar Barry went and released this story about a certain radio celebrity who had recently gotten married, but apparently had two side chicks. Actually, he had one side chick, then the other one just popped up out of the blues, out of nowhere, in like a part 1, part 2 fashion on his YouTube channel. And that sparked a lot of debate, because this isn't the only guy who's been targeted by him. A lot of men have been targeted by this character, and I'm not doing this in any way, shape, or form to create a plug for his channel. I'm just mentioning the content because I believe it is of some sort of value. Although, Edgar Barry, if you're down to do the podcast with me, I'm totally down for it. So he's kind of made a name for himself, this Edgar Barry fellow, for releasing gossip on a lot of Kenyan celebrities and popular people. Now, this radio presenter happened to be one of them. I don't want to mention names, but apparently this guy had two side chicks. And all of this came up because someone actually went and hit him up and was like, yo, this guy looks like he has a side chick, because I've been seeing him with this chick a bunch of different times. And when this guy decided to go and do research, he finds that this shorty has been taking a bunch of photos with a guy there and posting them up on IG. I don't care how fine you are. You don't do that shit. But I will get to that point later on. You do not do some of the things if you are a side chick. So there were stories where she had even placed up on the highlights so that people could see where he was featured. There were pictures with his car, pictures around where his friends were, as well as him. And it was very incriminating evidence. Now, when that happened, that kind of obviously sparked quite the debate. Oh, the guy's cheating, blah, blah, blah. It's like if Kevin Hart was cheating, because, well, similarly, they're both comedians in one way or another. Then all of a sudden, someone comes up and says, nope, she wasn't the only one who was the side chick. I was a side chick too. And then the story kind of blew up from there. In a part 1, part 2 fashion, two side chicks exposed themselves. And I don't get for what reason, because at no point for you as a side chick will you be promoted to the wife or the main chick in a nigga's life, especially if he's married. Y'all need to get that shit down in your systems without any disrespect, without any offense to anyone. That is a fact. If you are a side piece, you are not being elevated to the main thing, especially if the person is married. So, because I realized someone in the media industry was exposed for such a thing, and it's not that it was his fault, it's not that he was particularly sloppy, it was just women that chose to take screenshots and expose as well as post up pictures on IG, I figured I would educate some of you people on how to be a side piece. Now, I am saying this because to some extent, I think I may have been a side piece for like a very limited period of time. And I've watched things play out once or twice. I do not condone cheating. I totally left that bit of my life far, far away. Just about as far as, that Star Wars universe. And I'd probably like to say that, cheating is entirely up to you, but I'd advise against it. It breaks hearts, it breaks a lot of things, and it tends to ruin a lot of relationships. But if you are going to do it, I might as well advise you how to do it properly, right? Because if I'm not helping you, or at least if I'm not dissuading you, I might as well help you. So right here, I'm going to drop for you a couple of rules of being a side piece, regardless of whether you're male or whether you're female. If you are a male side piece and you do not know this man, do not, and I repeat, do not at any place, at any point in time, start bragging about hitting this babe to your friends. That is a rule. Actually, both of these apply to both sides. Do not talk about the person that you are the side piece to. If you are a side chick, if you are a side dude, if you are being smashed, take the smash the way it is, because that is something that you are getting. There's a good chance that they're probably even giving you money as well. But if you're not fortunate to get those two baskets of goodies, then just be comfortable with that one and enjoy the fucking while it comes. Because when you start exposing such shit, you're opening up someone's personal life. You might be wrecking a home and you don't even know. And when you're busy doing that, you don't know the kind of repercussions that might happen. Because even though this guy or this woman changes over time in the future and becomes a more faithful person, they will always be known for such shit. Simple example is Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart cheated like what, once or twice? Okay, maybe a bunch of times. I never really counted, but I know it's probably more than once. And the internet crucified him. Luckily, he's managed to do more things and he's been in the news for more things, so that one's kind of been glossed over. But it will obviously creep up at some point in the future if he does anything online, because the internet never forgets. They will point out such shit. It's like Kim K's sex tape as well. She released a sex tape, a particularly good one, might I add, and she managed to profit off of it. Ray J managed to bear the brunt of the loss because he wasn't very okay with it. People suspect that it was someone from Kim K's side that actually leaked the sex tape, but who the fuck cares? Now, anytime, at any point when we see Kim K doing it big or succeeding, people will obviously still come up and state that she's only famous because of a sex tape. Now, how the hell is that gonna help her kids? How the hell is that gonna help, a lot of the Jenners and the Kardashians? Because to some extent, people actually say that after the sex tape, Keeping Up with the Kardashians pretty much shot to the top and just managed to survive. So at the end of it, there's always that weight that'll kind of fling you down. Like, it'll always pull you back and kind of bring back a lot of the bile of different people in the world. So yes, do not brag about that shit. Keep quiet. If you're gonna tell someone, tell probably your closest friends and make sure that shit stays confidential. Confidential is the name of the game here. Other side piece rule: do not post up pictures with them, especially if they're married. If they're not married, then fine, you guys can post up pictures, but make it look like y'all are just friends. Do not let them touch you in a certain type of way if you're in a certain photo. Don't have him place his hand on your lap if you're the side chick and you're trying to take a photo for the gram. Side dudes barely ever post up shit besides of themselves and probably how good they look so that they can attract other women, but you'll kind of get the vibe with this. So when such situations creep up, even though someone claims that you're the side chick, you at least get to secure yourself. If you're secure as a side chick, if no one finds out about that shit, y'all can probably continue smashing for a long bloody time, provided the wife or the other girlfriend's senses don't pick up anything. You'll be doing it for a pretty long time, or at least if the nigga doesn't get tired of you. So y'all make sure, if you're gonna take photos, make sure they're not in compromising positions, and if the person is married, do not take photos with them at all, because women just have a way of sniffing this shit and it does not go down well. Next rule: watch the places that y'all are gonna visit together, so that if you're gonna do it behind the scenes, then it better be behind the scenes top to bottom. If y'all are gonna meet up and probably go to a certain place that, let's say, whoever it is that you're the side piece to is renting, like let's say it's a man cave, let's say it's another apartment, let's say it's a different house somewhere, let's say it's a hotel room or a motel room, depending on where it is that you're going. Make sure, if you're gonna be picked up, let them not walk out of the car and start saying hi to you. Just go get in. If the car windows are tinted, even better. You go, you check in, and then you drive off. That way, no one will know who it is, especially if it's someone who is famous. But if it's someone who is famous, they'll probably tag the number plate. And by they, I mean most of the public that are probably seen that person from time to time. So I'd advise you, take an Uber. Have them pick you up in a different car. That way, no one gets to find out who it is that you're smashing. Just call it a mystery guy. The less people know, the better. Or a mystery woman. Although for most of us guys, we probably prefer taking an Uber because toxic masculinity has made it such that for us guys, we never want to admit that we're being smashed and given money. No nigga wants to come out and be proud of the fact that they're a man-ho. Because knowing that you're getting money from a woman who is making way more money than you actually pisses some guys off, and they make it feel as though they're less of men. So yeah, that's another one for toxic masculinity. That's one benefit right there. But that being said, y'all make sure you are super discreet with that shit. If a car is being involved, if transportation is being involved, be as private as possible. If even better, probably just take an Uber. Is there any other tip though? Use protection. I'm gonna tell you, use protection, and no one is gonna tell you that more than I will, because y'all don't know if you're the only side piece. If this person smashes a fuck ton of people, then you are screwed, because you can get anything in the manner of STDs and so on and so forth. Plus also, if they get you pregnant, who says they can't drop you like a bad habit? You feel me? So if you're gonna be a side piece, use protection. Or if you're not using protection, just make sure you're as protected as possible. Make sure that both of y'all get regularly tested, and probably birth control would be advisable if this person is gonna hit it raw. Because at least for some of us, we ain't ready to be fathers, or we ain't ready to be mothers at certain age points or at certain points in our lives, period. Is there any other one though? If you meet up with them in public, treat them like a basic platonic friend. I will not state this even more than enough. Act like y'all are just friends. That is how you manage to secure yourself. And securing yourself is the name of the game here. You're trying to secure yourself. If it's dick you're getting, if it's pussy you're getting, you make sure you secure yourself from other people finding out about that shit. Because the more people that find out, the worse it gets for the both of y'all, and the higher the chances of whatever it is that you have breaking. Now, another thing I will probably tell you, you are not going to be the wife or the girlfriend or the boyfriend or the husband. So stop trying to act like you are going to become that. Go deliver what it is that you are required to deliver, of which most times it is just delivering the fuck. And that is probably one of the most essential things that we need to learn as people. If you are a side piece, there is a 90% chance that you are not going to become the girlfriend, the wife, the boyfriend, the husband. So stop trying to get there. If you are a side piece and you automatically become the girlfriend or the wife, if they start cheating on you, don't be surprised. And that's just facts. But anyways, all my tips are there with a stroke of salt. But if y'all wanted help with being side pieces, I've helped you. If you guys have any more tips, if you guys have any more recommendations, if you have any criticisms, any feedback, positive or negative, you all know where to reach us at. On Instagram, it is on Breaktime on Westside. On Facebook, Breaktime on Westside. On Twitter, you can hit me up on my personal Twitter handle at BagakaTheD. I will see you guys later.